Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Ian Kane podcast. I'm Ian Kane, your host, and today we're back again with another Bible video, and we're here again for our daily gospel reading and reflection. This kid's yelling. I had to move from my original spot where I usually do my podcasts, just my last few podcasts, and I had to move over here because it was just crawling with soccer kids, and I was not having it. So we moved back here. It's a little more peaceful. But the show continues. So today we're reading from John 14, the same chapter as yesterday. And we're going to read from 21 to 26. So 5 verses. And we'll reflect on it. There's a lot in here that we had to unpack. But first, let us read the actual passages. He who has my commandments and keeps them, he it is who loves me, and he who loves me will be loved by the Father, and I will love him and manifest myself to him. Judas, not the Iscariot, said to him, Lord, how is it that you will manifest yourself to us, and not to what is, not to the world? Jesus answered him, If a man loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him. He who does not love me does not keep my words, and the word which you hear is not mine, but the Father who sent me. These things I have spoken to you while I am still with you. But the Counselor, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he will teach you all things, and bring to your remembrance all that I have said to you. The word of the Lord. So again, a very short passage today, but these kids, bro. I don't know. The show goes on, but let's try not to get distracted and stay on track. Anyways, to continue on, again, it's a very short passage, same as yesterday's, but it has so much in it, and it's so influential and so powerful. So to start off, Jesus says, he who has my commandments and keeps them, he it is who loves me, and he who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will love him and manifest myself to him. So basically what it says is, if you keep these commandments, and the commandments of the Old Testament, the commandments of his Testament, and what he's talking about, you will be loved. Not that in the fact that the Father, the Son, and God in general will always love you, but that he will manifest to you his love more. And he continues on to say that he will manifest to him. So he will show him things, and he will, maybe not always in the form that we think we will see, so not like actual things, but in different ways he will manifest to him, whether that's sights, sounds, people, because God works in mysterious ways. God works in ways that we don't know, but at the end of the day, God has a plan for those who love him. And that's kind of takeaway from that first little thing. God has a plan for those who love him. And that's very important to realize. And then Jesus says in 23, If a man loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him. So what that again it means is that he will keep my word. So it's again staying faithful to Christ even in the hard times, and he will keep my word. He will not take it as a once in a lifetime thing and say, okay, this is important, let me do this for 10 minutes. He will take his word and use it throughout his day, and he will examine it throughout his day to see what he could do better and what gone wrong and what he did good. And I think that's something that we can do every day, an examination of conscience every day after your day. Just sit and think about what you could have done better and what you did good and how you can improve the next day. And just that simple task of humbleness to God, humility to God, will be ultimately a big factor in your relationship with him. And my Father, and we will come to him and make our home with him. So Yesterday, Jesus said that he's preparing us homes in heaven, basically. He's creating us a place to live in heaven, and he will come get us whenever he wants. And this, again, relates to that, because he says he's going to take us, he will come dwell in us. That meaning that he will live in our lives, and that just basically says manifesting within him, within that person. Like we just said, the Father, the Son, and God in general, the Holy Spirit, which we'll get to in a second, will dwell in that person. And if you stay faithful and you keep his word and you love him. And then Jesus begins to say that the word which you hear is not mine, but the Father's who sent me. And then this is where Jesus gives credit to the Father. He says, this is not my words. These words do not come from me. I do not speak these words from my own understanding, but these words come from God. And I think that, again, these can be applied to our daily life. Speaking the words that God would only want us to speak, and that's challenging sometimes. And even asking God, what does he want us to speak to others? Is there something that has been on our mind for a while that we should tell somebody? That involves them. Do we have to tell this person? Right? Just as the Father gave Jesus the words to speak, the Father also gives us words to speak. All right, God gives us words to speak of and words to say to other people to get his message across. And that's where I say God works in mysterious ways, because he gives us and he gives other people abilities that some people don't have. And we should be ultimately grateful, and we should not want those abilities. Ultimately, those abilities would be great to help others, but God's will is different for everybody, and God's will is good for everybody, because God's will is perfect, and it's a perfect plan. And our plan is just weak and not perfect. So God has given abilities to everybody on this earth that nobody else has, and that we won't know until it's the right time. So whether that's, being able to speak God's message through words, or it's able to speaking God's message through healing and actual, healing, blessing, or is that something, or the ability to actually be humble and loving and caring and selfless, right? And so God gives us these many abilities. And those are just a few. There's many other ones. So as we come to the close of this one, Jesus says in 26, in the last passage, or the last verse, but the Counselor, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he will teach you all things and bring to your remembrance all that I have said to you. So it says, he will send, whom the Father will send in my name, he will teach you all things. So it says that the Father will send the Holy Spirit, as we know, the Paraclete, the messenger, basically, between God and man. He's the linker. The Holy Spirit is the thing that kind of gives us these powers of healing, of spiritual power and might and many other things, right? The Holy Spirit is the one during confirmation that gives us the gifts, right? The abilities, and he's the thing that invokes these good things to help to happen in other people's lives. And he says that once Jesus is gone, and he says it multiple times in the gospel, not only of John, but in many other gospels, that he will send this Holy Spirit that will come after him, and we'll see in Pentecost, the Holy Spirit will come on them, and they will be able to speak in tongues, or different languages that they've never been able to speak. And they will be able to have the gifts of the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit, will bring to them the remembrance of the thing that they have said. So when John was writing this, right, after all of them, because ultimately these were all written at the same time except for John. John was written later. They were able to remember these things better because of the Holy Spirit, basically. And that's part of the reason why we're still able to remember this, because the Holy Spirit invokes these thoughts and reminds us what Jesus was teaching. So that's basically it. That's our gospel reflection today, and I'm really loving doing these so far. 2 days in, the third day tomorrow. We'll be back with another gospel passage. I love doing these. I love just talking for a quick 10 minutes about the Gospels. And these short, easy podcasts I'll probably hopefully do more often. So I thank you for watching this video. And yeah, until next time, God bless.